My name is Chris Bintliff. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at the Kaleidoscope Group, and this is Pulse Check. Today we're going to talk about better understanding inclusive marketing. To do that, let's talk about a couple things to align on some definitions. So we're talking about the same things when we're talking about marketing. There's the verb and there's the noun. Most organizations focus too much on one or the other. Let's talk first about the verb. What is marketing? Marketing is telling your story to people who care. Let's break that down. Who are the people who care, and what is your story? Good marketers are good storytellers, and good storytellers understand who they're telling their story to. That means marketers have to be good communicators, have to have an understanding of the human dynamic, have to understand, especially where business is concerned, who is it that is interested in our business? Because the third component of that definition is, and is willing to spend money with us. So telling our story to people who care and are willing to spend money with us. So when we think about inclusive marketing from that perspective, we're doing our organizations literally a disservice if we don't think wider about who is it that we're trying to tell our story to. If we don't think about the different dimensions of people that are on the other side of that conversation, we're doing our business a disservice. We're limiting our own ability to reach out to people who could be interested in what we do, who could be interested in our story. And then we have to think of our story and the way that we tell it in ways that align with that level of difference, with that level of diversity. It means that not everybody who we're trying to sell a product to or tell our story to looks like us, thinks like us, lives where we do, is the same age that we are. And this backs up then into the noun of marketing. Let's talk about marketing, capital M, the division or the business unit or the department inside of your organization. Let's say that those are storytellers who understand communication and the human element. If those people don't better understand how to connect, then they are unable to tell the more and most robust story. The best way for that to happen is for there to be a lot of different folks on that team. People who look different from each other. People who are not the same age as everyone else. When that happens, then we can start to ask the question, who's left out here? And when we can minimize the answers to that to say as few people as possible, then we know that we are telling a story that sees from different perspectives and that better represents our audience, our customers, our potential customers, the people that we want to hear that story. This is why it's really important, whether you're a small team or you're a great big department, that you think about, let's bring some other people into the room who see this differently than I do. This can be especially challenging for organizations that maybe are older, have been around for a long time, or maybe have kind of a legacy executive team or management team or marketing team. They've been there for a long time. This is always how it's been done. Or, this has really worked for us for a long time. Why would we try something new? Marketing, the sort of behaviors of marketing is try something, study its results, repeat. Most organizations fail at one of those parts. We don't try something because we're nervous or we are apprehensive or we don't quite know, and so we never try and we just talk about it for a long time. Or we try something and then we don't study the results, we just repeat it. So we try something, we repeat it. We try something, we repeat it. And we kind of hope to hit pay dirt. We can spend a lot of time and energy and money in that without getting the return that we could because we're not studying the results. Or we don't do the repeat. We try something, we study the results, we don't repeat it because we say it didn't work, so therefore it must not be the right thing to do. This is where diversity comes in on that team. If we say, and I hear this a lot, I never open those emails that come into my inbox. Therefore, email marketing must not work. That's a sample size of one. I don't understand TikTok, so therefore we're not going to get onto TikTok. Well, maybe you've got a lot of people who would be interested in hearing your story, but they're on TikTok. And because maybe you don't have that youthful energy or that social energy or that sharing energy on your marketing decision-making team to better understand how to leverage something like that, you're missing out on those opportunities. So when we think about inclusive marketing, try to remember the noun and the verb. Start with the verb. Telling your story to people who care. That means your story has to be well thought out, well articulated, but you really need to better understand who cares and who you want to care. Those people that are willing to spend money because you are unique and you're different. And those people are diverse. They don't look like everybody else in your organization. That backs up then into the noun, your marketing team. Are they representative of the many people out there who might buy your product? And if they are not, how can you strengthen that? How can you improve on that? And when they are, then you have the benefit and the competitive advantage of seeing situations from different perspectives, not just to avoid danger and pitfalls, which is really important, but to get the most out of the opportunities, to get the richest story possible. I'm Chris Bintliff. This is Pulse Check. Wait, I'm back. I've got a little story to share with you. I was working with a sales organization that were led by white men in their 60s, and they were selling a consulting product to what they thought were largely men in their 40s and 50s. And they had made a lot of money over many years selling this product and doing their thing. So we ran some ads, and they were video ads, and they carefully nurtured this whole thing into what they thought their desired demographic was. The highest performing demographic, which is the characteristics that described who was involved and engaged in this ad, were women in their 20s. So these guys went in with a pile of assumptions, not just in their marketing, but their entire business model, and the analytics, which were incomplete. It needed more testing and more exposure, but the early analytics said, wait, you're missing out on a huge segment of your audience that you didn't even know were listening. Now, what could that team do with better representation on their own side that said, wait, guys, we've got something really interesting that we could be doing here if we put more focus on this, if we shifted gears towards that, if we brought more into this, if we brought more into that. And I remember when I shared that news in the meeting, it was crickets. They were all like, wait, what? It hadn't even occurred to them that somebody other than their preconceptions, or frankly, folks that looked a lot like them, were paying attention. That's a great illustration of the importance of knowing your audience, and then of making sure that your team reflects some of those realities better.